Welcome to CatFit's Supreme Fitness Support Podcast, where we discuss all things related to fitness, health, well-being, and how we can optimize our human experience in this game of life. Stay tuned till the end of this episode for some amazing giveaways and a word from our sponsors. Today's guest speaker with me, which I am so excited to introduce, is Devin, founder and director of Balance and Touch Academy in South Africa, an internationally accredited massage practitioner and lecturer. Dev?
Hey, it's so nice to be here.
Oh my goodness, it is so awesome to have you in this space.
Yeah.
And just to extend on that intro, I mean, not only have you been such a phenomenal friend of mine for years, but you have also been my lecturer, my mentor, and my go-to whenever I felt super stuck and had a client situation that I personally just had no idea how to follow through with.
Thank you.
And you've really been that anchor for me in my career. So it's really an awesome opportunity to be sitting here with you.
Well, thank you for being part of Balancing Touch as well. It's been awesome to have you, and I've learned a lot from you as well. It's a two-way street, so I'm really happy with it. But thank you so much for that acknowledgement. It's really special.
Amazing.
Yeah, flip, hey.
All right, so let's dive straight into it. I'd love to know, where did your massage journey start? From when you were little to where you are now in this industry and the changes that you are creating in this industry?
Well, I mean, it's a very, very good question. Starting off, I think to answer that correctly, when I started off, it was quite tricky. I didn't know what I was going to do after school. And growing up, I was brought into the industry with my mom doing reflexology. So if I look back at when I started, I probably started when she started showing me the chart and rubbing my feet with issues relating from ADHD to asthma. So she would work on me instead of putting me on pharmaceuticals. And I didn't know better at the time. So I think back then my interest started. And just for fun, I would pick up a foot of a brother or a sister and start rubbing. But I remember being fixated on the chart, the reflexology chart that she would let me look at. With ADD, I was all over the show, but if she gave me the colorful chart, I would focus on it and I would copy the points on the chart as she would work on me. So probably without even knowing it, I've been doing massage and reflexology or touch as part of my life since the very beginning, probably from about 8 or 9.
Sure.
And
so you grew up with
I grew up with it, you know.
Wow.
It was special. But as it progressed, you know, I got my first qualification in 2001. As soon as I finished school, I said, what am I going to do? And I decided to do this because of the interest I had in it. I wanted to know why it worked, how to do it properly. And I thought I'd get some answers, but I got lots of questions. And that just fueled my hunger for more knowledge. And I just continued, and I still continue to this day to study all forms of therapy. The progression that the industry has been immense. I mean, 2001, as an 18-year-old massage therapist, you know, it was a bit rough, you know, asking people to trust me as this pimple-faced teenage boy. I had a lot of skeptics, but I think as time progressed, I refined my ability to communicate, and I also refined my ability to introduce people to therapy so that I could use my qualification, but also to show people the incredible nature of touch. And that's just taken me from, not even pillar to post, but it's taken me from country to country. 101 different countries I've been to of massage therapy. And I've been trained by, I have to say, the pioneers of the industry. So I wouldn't say I set any trends, or I haven't grown the industry as such. I have followed, I think, a natural flow of therapy. And it's just about being sincere and being honest. And I think just handing over what I've been handed is, in itself, it grows the industry, because people leave this place with my knowledge and they use their own experience and they grow the industry further now. So I just rub people and make them feel better. And I try anyway.
And inspire the practitioners or the new practitioners of this industry to really go out there and assist in massive transformation. So Dev, I mean, a lot of people today still have the belief that massage therapy is almost a holiday luxury. they kind of associate massage therapy with a once or twice a year treatment or a birthday gift that they give their loved ones to go to a spa, somewhere luxury for them to get treated. But massage is so much more than that, and we really dive into it in the courses. But what is the essence of massage therapy? What is it really?
So the spa treatments and all of those luxury items, they're real, and they are highly beneficial, and they have value, and people don't just book them because it's a trend. They book them because they can feel the benefit of it, and people feel special as a result. You get different fields in massage therapy. It's such a broad industry. You can go from your clinical side of things. Internationally, I would be working in a clinical practice where you're delving into disease with a oncologist or any specialist to work with the doctor to bring about the results. So it can be very clinical, or it could be very holistic. It can delve into realms where, how can I put it, people can really go into the belief aspect. Some people say placebo, but it isn't. It's a natural approach. It's a gentle approach to just change a person's mindset and approach life from a more whole perspective. So you can go down many routes. To kind of answer your question, it's not just about the relaxation or the pampering. I've seen people that are desperate for change. I've seen people that want to see if it's going to change anything. I see it more as working with the body, not trying to force anything, not trying to create a fake atmosphere. It's really about getting a person to get in touch with themselves and reach their full potential through touch, and allowing a practitioner into their space to facilitate them moving correctly into their success in their sporting, or to reach the pinnacle in their professional career as a corporate individual who has stress. So it can be just relaxation, but it is, so, like you say, it is so much more than that. Some people say it's life transforming. Some people say it's a critical point in their sporting career. Other people would actually just say that life would not be the same without it once they understand what it is. And it is about communication. It's communicating the potential of optimal health and just being at peace with oneself in your own body. Really, that's it.
Sure.
Yeah, if I answered your question correctly, I think that's
perfect.
It's a big question, but it's
huge, and I think you can take it into so much deeper as well.
Yes.
I mean, if we look at reflexology, for instance, in my personal experience and having you work on me as well, I've seen changes in my body, from digestion to balance of the hormones to my sinuses clearing up to my body feeling lighter. But after every single reflexology, I mean, my partner knows if I've had reflexology, because I am an emotional mess.
Oh dear.
I am a hot mess. And so much gets brought to the surface, so much more than just the physiology and anatomy being attended to.
Yes.
But it really gets into what I've been suppressing. So elaborate a little bit more of like what actually happens in the body, and where does this come from? Why does touch bring up all these things for us to see and address and feel?
So it's strange. Reflexology, it's often misperceived. It's even often mistaught. I do believe that the essence of what reflexology is beyond just a glorified foot massage. It's beyond balancing of energy or anything else. Like you say, you get this effect that occurs to you when you have a reflex session. If the emotions go haywire for a little bit, it's not a negative thing, and it's not a negative thing. It's a very positive thing. It highlights things on a very natural level without you actually requiring to put effort into the result. So I've learned many forms of reflex, and the one thing I can say about it is the more I do this, the more I realize that no matter how good we get at our trade, the more we do it, the more we realize there is so much potential in working the feet.
Sure.
It's not just about pressure points. It's not just about energy lines. Yeah, sure, you have these things, but I believe that reflexology is going back to an origin where it helps the recipient to receive their own information back. And that goes quite deep, but you can simplify it by saying that in life what we'll do is we'll go through traumas, we'll go through growth, we'll go through change, And things happen very quickly. So all the things that we think, I need to stop and think about these things, you get so caught up in the next thing. And all of this information that you want to consciously absorb, it just somehow gets in there and it sits there and it's left unresolved to some degree. But when a reflexology practitioner knows what they're doing, they can have a look at your feet and they can push points. And intuitively and instinctively, with education obviously, be able to know what they're working with. And if they see something, they just reflect it back at the person on the table, if they need to say something, or if they just empathetically pick something up and just work with compassion. It just aligns the person on the table with being able to stop for a moment, breathe, and feel again. And it's that feeling that's important. It's that feeling and being able to answer questions if a person has it. Or, you know, scarily for us as practitioners, we might pick up something there, a health concern, an emotional concern, and really just feel that compulsion to say something and trust that it's the right thing to do. And when we say it often, this is where a person is able to really feel that they can trust the person working, but they can also look inside themselves and be safe. And this is a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing, but it really...
It's a safe container for people to really feel vulnerable.
Absolutely.
You know, to let all the walls down that they've put up to protect themselves from whatever external experiences and traumas they've experienced, and actually just to be raw in that moment and say, okay, I'm ready to just start gifting myself that time of healing, of rejuvenation,
absolutely,
of so much.
and I like what you said. They give themselves, and people don't give themselves much. They give themselves what they think they're allowed to have.
Sure.
And we limit ourselves. We limit ourselves drastically. And I think what happens now in natural therapies, in touch medicine, it's moved. I love that
word, touch medicine.
It is. It's touch. Yeah. It's completely touch medicine. I mean, cats. I often look at people and they will categorize themselves based on what's out there. And this is probably the first time people will come and have a health experience where the practitioner doesn't look at them like, oh, that client with that type of problem. Each person is their self. When I or you work on a person in reflexology, we don't see this is how you deal with these problems. It is so completely bespoke. There is no other method to help a person other than the bespoke way to approach them. You have to see their uniqueness, you have to experience their uniqueness, and you have to interpret that uniqueness. Not one person will ever get the same feedback. And that is important, and that's when people can recognize their own, what's the word I'm looking for? Their own true value, and not categorize themselves or measure themselves against anything else. They can see themselves and be themselves and heal for themselves, not based on what people need from them, but from what they want. And it's a special place. It's a special place to be and to give and to also receive. And to also receive. It's sort of this irony relationship of a give and receive in such beautiful balance. Yeah. Fluidity. Yeah. You want that. And flow. Yeah. Oh, man, it's special. It's really special. So I mean, in my years of experience and doing multiple, I don't even know how many courses I've done through balancing. You've done all of them, I think, except the baby, but that's going to change very quickly. And I think the pulses as well. Oh, with the explain pulses. Pulses. Well, you know, massage, the contraindication is inflammation. Yeah. People think inflammation and tension are the same thing. We know the difference. We know how to test it. But we also know that there is a limitation behind what we can do with inflammation. We can address it from a satellite point. So feet doesn't affect inflammation directly, but the body deals with it through the feet when we work it. So reflex has always been the safe zone. Now, pulses is one of the therapies that you can actually work directly on inflammation. So if the person has severe inflammation because they've torn a muscle or they've knocked themselves really badly. I mean, I've worked on people where they've got sprains. Immediately the ligaments have gone and it's painful. Now, and what about like a general body inflammation? So not an inflammation necessarily caused by injury, but too much fire in their body from just a toxic Yes,
lifestyle
yes.
that they now see, okay, I've got to do something about this. Would this be a safe treatment for that level of
So
inflammation?
you've got to look at your different forms of inflammation. I mean, your state of fire is definitely it's the opposite of declining. It's an increasing state. It's a burning state. So it never gets satisfied, that level of fire in a person. And it sounds crazy, like you have too much fire. Like, no, I don't have any fire. But when people do say fire, yes, inflammation is a major part. But even excess stress, excess thinking, excess doing things, being overproductive, pushing hard for a good mark, pushing hard for achieving a goal in your sporting career, that can be fire. That can be too much fire. You want to balance that out. Now, things like conditions, you're looking at rheumatic conditions, you're looking at your inflammatory response, like fibromyalgia. I mean, many people say there's no real cause for it, but we've linked it to many things. But the one big thing behind fibro is it is the nervous system, and it actually starts in the hands and the feet. And with poultice, let me explain the poultice that I do. The poultice that I do is your pindakama. It is the type of poultice. It's not Thai poultice. It's Ayurvedic, meaning, again, you want to look at the person's dosha. You want to look at their different levels of dosha. We're all a combination of either air, fire, water. Those are your doshas. So I would be a Pitta Vata, which is quite weird, but your Pitta is your fire. So there's the passion, and when I get into a really stressed state, I go into more of a fire dominance. So I burn up, I get fatigue. Sometimes I get very frustrated very quickly when I'm burnt out. But if I balance that, I remove the negative characteristics of being a fire person, and the water person who can be very lazy and lethargic, I find a balance somewhere. And when we do pindakama or poultice massage for that, and an inflammation, I mean, I had rheumatoid, it's gone now. So working with my dosha and knowing what I need, I use a certain oil or a certain approach. Everything from, do I start from the feet upwards, will be determined by my dosha. So if I'm a kapha dominant person, I would start on the back of the body, move my way down to calm. If I'm fire, I would work upward to charge my fire qualities. It seems complicated, but when you look at a person's inflammation response, using the herbs that we do in our poultice, those herbs are specially picked and specially put together, not just with the dosha, but the medicinal properties of it, the natural medicinal. It's
so
not
whatever medicine the person needs from the herbs and spices
exactly.
is what you'll fill.
Yes.
What is it? What structure is the poultice?
The poultice. So you've got
sand, this sort of bag.
Yeah,
structure?
it looks like a sandbag, but we take about this much herb and we squeeze it, compress it into a ball inside of it's almost like a sachet. It's canvas, pretty much a canvas. It's like a cheesecloth, so to say.
Yeah.
And we put the herbs in there, and it's predominantly your marigold. Okay. Your marigold, and we've got everything in there from ginger to turmeric to, so you can't really use this on white towels. Your towels change color. Unless you really like yellow, then it's fine. But we'll even put things like your cayenne pepper in there.
Amazing.
Lavender, I like the fresh stuff. So the last poultice we made, we found a place that was packed with lavender, and we could pick as we wanted. But your marigolds, and also, you can go into getting your ginseng and everything. So you'll find a lot of your spicy, aromatic herbs and spices from the east, but these are more your medicinal ones. So if you're looking at things like your juniper, and you're looking at your things like your cardamom pods, and all of that all goes in. I mean, it smells fantastic.
Yeah.
But when you work over a joint with this that has inflammation, with the right oil and in the right approach, the body is able to use that and distribute the inflammation in a way that heals and doesn't aggravate.
Is this a combination? Because if I'm not mistaken, the poultice is heated.
Yes,
so
they are.
It brings in a combination of the thermotherapy or
Yes.
almost like qualities of hot stone
Yes.
and aromatherapy beautifully blended into something that is so incredibly healing on so many levels.
Absolutely. And it also includes your movements. So even in your sports, your soft tissue release therapies, even neuromuscular to a degree, but a lot of your joint mobilization with pressure. So you're locking into that painful point with the herb does its work. Then you do the motion and you get the breathing involved. So you see so many different dynamics at play. But a lot of it has got to do, if we're looking at it on Western terms, vasodilation, which speeds up your healing,
Yeah.
your thermal therapy, and also your traditional Western herbal medicine. I mean, Ayurveda it uses all herbs. Western herbal medicine is very similar. So we use the approaches of all of that, but it's powerful stuff. And that's just one brick in that wall of healing. There's your Hasta Abhyanga, your Pada Abhyanga. It's all of these Eastern when I say Eastern, Indian treatments, Ayurvedic treatments. And it's a derivative from Ayurvedic medicine. This is Ayurvedic healing.
Sure.
So it's very powerful, but that echoes through everything.
Yeah.
It will. It naturally does.
No, amazing. So I mean, each sort of massage style has its own beauty to it, and I think a lot of people who are not experienced in massage will kind of put all of them into the same category. But
sadly, yeah.
But we've got the Swedish style or the Swedish massage, which is focused on balancing the entire body, balancing all the systems, bringing a sense of relaxation, which in essence people hear relaxation, and because they hear it so much, it's lost its potency. But relaxation is so vitally important for high performers, and to manage stress, because stress is one of the leading causes of a lot of ailments that we have. But what other forms of massage are there that is not necessarily found within your standard spa, for example?
Well, there's the first thing is you're going to find things that have the same name, and the standard spa out there, you're going to get what you book. You're going to get your full body, you're going to get your deep tissue, you're going to get those things. I think the therapist determines a lot what you're getting. A good therapist, you have a Swedish from them, you'll notice there's foundational points in their Swedish which cover all of those rough edges that aren't covered in your standard spa operation. And that's not knocking any spa. A spa is a wonderful thing to go to, and the therapists love what they do. But the critical thing when you're looking at your different therapies is really the approach needs to change. So you can go to a spa and you'll find a lot of the therapies that we teach, but they will not feel the same because of the approach that is done through the professional. Now, the things that you're not really going to find in spas a lot of, and authentically, is your Hawaiian massage, your lomi, because that is
medicine for my soul.
That was my second qualification I got.
Oh my gosh, that was my last one that I got at Balancing Touch.
Awesome.
And that spoke to my soul on so many levels.
And what do they say? It's lomi kahula huka, which means massage journey to the stars. So I mean, you would have felt that experience where it's almost transcendent, although it is so down to earth. There's no weirdness about it. Some people do the whole hula thing. You don't have to do that. I think most Hawaiians would laugh at you if you did that. But the true authentic approach to the Hawaiian is to be one with the person you're working on, and it's one of those things in the safety and in the sacredness of two people that respect one another, and to just always work. And maybe you don't even know what it means to move in the right direction of light, but it just means you're doing this and you're doing it purely. And you as a therapist, you give yourself fully to that client in that moment by giving your best and feeling peace as you do it. The other ones that you get is your Shirodhara, or what we would refer to as Shirodosha. It's that running oil that runs across the forehead. So I'm busy with the copper pots, and this is where it's actually a pineal activation. It's this warmed oil. It's also Ayurvedic oil, and it runs from temple to temple across the forehead like that. You lie there and you've got this little thing that catches all the oil. Look, if you don't want your hair to get messed up, don't come for the treatment, but you won't care about hair after this treatment anyway.
I can imagine.
And as this goes through, it's 5 minutes of it drizzling across here. Eventually you just see the most incredible colors as your mind starts to feel that complete release of constraint. It's not a euphoric experience. It's not a all out there in the universe experience. It's a very real, down to it's actually like we get to feel what life feels like without our heads being busy. It cleanses the mind, and then you also do the points, and this is your Pada Abhyanga and your Hasta. Hasta is hand, and Pada is foot. So Hasta and Pada Abhyanga is the routine or the method of releasing the flow of your prana. And it's beautiful. It's very similar to Thai to a degree, but this is just very authentically done. You know, it's a special thing. And then your other therapies that you can do. Oh, there's so many. There's so many.
I think I'd just like to touch on that a bit in terms of what people experience in massage, because it has got a bit of a magical essence to it, where you can get off the bed and you feel like you are so ready to levitate to your car. You don't even need a car, you can levitate straight home. But there is this magical essence that massage gives you, but it's not something that you have to necessarily go for all these treatments to be able to tap into. Like that feeling that you get after massage, that's you. That is a part, that is a state within you that you can now access at any point, at any time when you need it. And now you know exactly what it feels like. So it's easier to tap back into that. I've had so many clients say to me, you know, when I'm massaging them, and I say to them, you know, breathe through this and relax. And they say, Kat, I have no idea how to relax. It's been so long. So I think this is really something that shows them what relaxation is, so that they can tap into it.
It also shows us what relaxation is. You know, we also people. And I think we're lucky. We're very lucky. We get to see people on the best side of themselves. And you're right. This is this euphoric, wonderful, happy feeling. It's when people get to truly experience who they are without trying to put something on to appear to be something or to act like they feel something. They can really just be like, wow, that's me. It's like that cat from that pet movie. It's like, is that coming from me, that purr? You know, we purr on many levels. And I think that this whole thing of going for a massage, it shows us that we can connect with human beings on a safe level. We can be ourselves and be accepted and embraced by people, and there's no darkness.
Vulnerable.
And being vulnerable is one of the nicest places to be, especially when you're with a person that is going to respect it and honor that. And that's the beauty of what we do, is we are able to pass this on to people, to show them that you can be yourself. And also the big thing now with the narrative that's going around this world, people around you aren't going to just make you sick and die. People around you can actually help you like really live and thrive. And that's something that I'm seeing day in, day out with massage therapy, touch practices around every salon and every spa. The therapists are being in demand, and they were scared, but now they're realizing that humanity needs humanity. We need the contact. We need safe contact. We need
touch.
And we need respect. People need that respect. They need to be shown. Not everyone's going to use you. Not everyone's going to hurt you. So,
Amazing.
There we go.
Sure. So today in your lecture, something really caught my eye. I mean, I always find that every time I sit in one of your classes, no matter how many times I have done a course or came for a refresher or came to upskill myself, I always learn something new and something different.
I'm glad.
And so today you touched on something that really resonated with me so beautifully, was the 3 fundamentals of health and well-being.
All right. So yes, this. Look, there's many components to it, but I've deduced from over 21 years of doing this that I can pour my heart into something, but the therapy that I give, even if I'm doing it as perfectly as I know, only makes up 30% of the effectiveness of what the client wants. There's another 30% which must go towards the decisions that the client chooses. So if they want to overcome a chronic concern, a chronic condition, 30% of what they need comes from me. And that's just to help the body, to facilitate the body, and also to facilitate them on a psychological level or an emotional level, where they can start to feel the directional pull of better health. The 30% that is completely their responsibility is the choices they are going to make. If they feel, I want to stay healthy and be healthy, it's actually quite easy. The body will, especially with our therapies, is the body will naturally feel propelled to do better things. So it will want more water, it will want better food. But nutrition, it will want the move, and it needs the movement. You can't expect your body to start feeling easier if you're not experiencing that easiness through movement. So if a person wants to be more active, I can get the body there, but they need to start moving themselves without me around. Overcoming an ailment, they need to be proactive in that. You've heard me say it in the reflexology and in some of the other courses, is if you are wanting healing healing in the body requires that movement, that proactive movement. So that one woman that said to me when I was a kid, if you are taking that one step at a time, you are always stepping towards better health. If you are not moving forward, this is where we get the decline. So we have to be proactive. The systems of the body require us to be active for them to function, and that reflects what we need to do to stay healthy. We have to do what our body does, and we have to do what our heart wants, and it's always in a movement direction. So you've got that, and it's about the choices we make, and making what you think is a hard choice is sometimes not a hard choice. You think it is until you do it.
Yeah.
So getting up in the morning and going for that walk, or taking the dogs for a walk, or just for some, I get this thing, I want to be upside down, so I'll hang upside down for no reason, but I know it's really good for the lymphatic system. It works and it opens up everything. It gets the blood to the brain properly. So movement is very powerful, but it's the little things that we do. Sometimes we can just follow intuitively what to do. But the other 30%, which is going to really add the value of everything else you do, is your nutritional aspect. And you can go to a dietitian. I prefer going to a nutritional specialist because they understand the nutritional value of things, and they also don't have a governing protocol that says you have to promote this and this and this. It's not about that. It's about what works for the person. So nutrition makes up 30%. Without nutrition, you can do all the right things, but it's like asking Picasso to paint you a picture without any paint. You're gonna get the best techniques, you're gonna get the best flow and the best ideologies in there, but you don't have paint, so you're never gonna see that result. So you need nutrition, you need movement, you need choices that you make as an individual if you want that. And then our job is quite simple, is to facilitate that, and ensure that it's moving in that direction whenever you come back. And it's actually a beautiful process. It's enjoyable, and it becomes something that you can continuously do.
So I think a lot of clients, the choice of health is very important. I think choosing health, choosing to feel better, choosing to feel lighter, choosing to have more energy, that is really something that supports optimal transformation and supports their health and well-being, is that choice to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do for no other reason than I'm choosing to live a life that I love, and I'm choosing to feel the best that I can feel, regardless of my past history or my traumas. Sure.
So I love how you say that, because that is, I believe, the essence of everything that we do, whether it's fitness, whether it's life coaching, whether it's whatever it is. Healing is not about how sick you are. Unfortunately, the world believes that you go to be healthier because you must be sick. People are not sick, people are not broken, people are not destroyed.
Beautiful.
We often go and seek help because we've been told we've got something wrong with us. And when we choose to do something because we're scared of the consequences of death, we're scared of being unwell, that is wrong. That is doomed for failure from the second you try and find a solution with that mindset. When people choose health because they want to feel good, they want to expand on themselves, they want to feel like a kid again, with that like sense of wonder to your soul, where my body can do what? And you want that, you really want that. When people have that intention of, I want to feel good again, I will not feel good again, I want to feel good, I want to feel better than I ever have. They get that from us when our attention is not on how do we fix their problems, but how do we enhance their health. It's about helping people to recognize what they do, helping people to recognize what they can get, not what they should have and must have.
Exists within them. Sure.
And the focus must be on health, not on disease, not on illness. You can't scare a person into good health.
And I think that's where like the power of intention that comes from the practitioner really steps in. So Dev, for all the practitioners out there that are really wanting to, step into this, people who have thought, wow, massage sounds like something that I would really love to experience or do, or just see how it goes, or perhaps it's something they've always felt drawn to. What would be your biggest advice to those people?
Stop procrastinating, because the world needs them. The world needs them. The world needs people that are doing this because they feel the pull and they feel the passion. One thing I must say, and like I say in every single class, especially in the beginning, because you get people that come in like, I'm a healer. They don't really quite grasp what that means.
Yeah.
I'm not giving everything here because there is no other way. When we are pulled and compelled to do something, we have to follow it. The more we put it off, the more it eats at us, and the more we feel that we're not actually fulfilling what we need to. You can go to work and be a brilliant employee, but if you're not following your heart's desire, it's not even your heart's, it's your heart's calling.
Yeah.
You need to. And it could be the smallest thing by someone saying, yo, you've got amazing healing hands, you know, or you've got, you know, there's just something, I feel so good after that. I can teach people skill. I can't teach that passion. That passion is there. I can build it up, and I can help them work with it and get them to use it the way it should be used, not the way that people abuse it. So the advice I can give them is always be humble. Every time a person makes that comment, even if you've been doing it for 20 years, it's still amazing to see that result. Never take it for granted, but know the true meaning, what it means to be a healer. We can't heal people. We facilitate healing in people.
Beautiful.
And we can't expect to be perfect.
That's such an important realization.
Yeah, and we're always in a state of healing. So people think I first have to fix myself before I can help others. You have fixed yourself on all the levels that people needed you to be fixed, and you've made it through that. And people that haven't made it through that will be able to resonate the solution with you. It's when we give up because we're scared, we're too messed up, whatever. We're never too messed up. No one's perfect. We're actually perfectly imperfect in that way. And it's a beautiful thing to be human. It's a beautiful thing. At any given time. Yeah, you know? At any given time. And we are always in a state of healing. Everyone's healing on some level. But when we help others heal, we heal ourselves. And when we help heal ourselves, we help others heal. It's a two-way street, and it's a beautiful thing. And there is never a moment of down when you are in that state. And you can acknowledge what it is to be in the healing profession. It's not hard. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And everyone, you've seen it. You've had classes too.
Yeah.
They also, I should have done this 10 years ago. When it's your time to be in
it will
this.
Find you. Everything will align so perfectly when it's that time. But I think
Absolutely.
It's important for people who are wanting to step into this line of work and to climb onto this journey to just 100% stop procrastinating. Just follow through. Just do it.
Yeah, that's it.
Dev,
so
how do people find you? How do people that have any questions about massage or want to enroll with Balancing Touch, how do they find you? How can they connect to you?
Well, they can find us on Facebook, Balancing Touch, Massage and Reflexology Training Institute, or they can just go look for Balancing Touch in one word. That's how you'll find it. Or you can go to the website, it's massagecourses.co.za. The other way of, you can search on Google, you'll find us there. We're normally at the top. But yeah,
yes, you are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't checked. You know me, I'm hands-on. I like to, I work with people. But yeah, we're on Facebook. We've got Instagram accounts. I'm not active, but a lot of the people that are with us are. So you'll find us there. And then, just directly info@balancingtouch.co.za. It's the best bet.
Beautiful.
Not WhatsApp. But they can. We have got a WhatsApp line. I just don't have the number with me.
Okay,
but,
no, that's brilliant. Dave, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kat. And thank you for what you do.
A huge thank you to our sponsors. First, we have Indelicate Clothing, and you guys know by now I am a huge fan of Indelicate. Whether I am in the gym or with my clients or whether I'm going out with a group of friends, I'm wearing my Indelicate clothing. Not only is it super stylish, but it is incredibly comfortable. So definitely check out their website and receive 10% off your first purchase using the code provided. Next, we have CatFit Holistic Wellness. CatFit is a mobile personal training company who has branched out to offer a wide range of online services as well. We have recently expanded our team with 2 exciting new instructors who offer a combination of yoga and breathwork as well as Zumba with a bit of Afro fusion to it. Receive 10% off your first month when you sign up for our yoga classes with Kyla. To find out more, simply visit our website provided and drop us a message on Instagram at catfit.lifestyle. Our third sponsor for this one is Balancing Touch. Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast today. Balancing Touch is a world-class academy where you can study reflexology and advanced massage therapy with an international accreditation and qualification. When you book your masterclass, you can receive a complimentary Balinese scalp massage or alternatively aromatherapy to complement and support you to further expand your massage business. To find out more, visit their website and contact them on their social media platforms on Facebook. Thanks guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next one.